नमस्कार दोस्तों, आपका फिर से एक बार बहुत बहुत स्वागत है मेरे YouTube चैनल HardTalk पर। और आज हमें ज्वाइन किया है एक बेहद ही खास मेहमान, वो हैं डॉक्टर भरत बोस। ही इज ए PhD इन क्लिनिकल साइकोलॉजी, ही इज PhD इन ग्लोबल सिक्योरिटी अफेयर and postdoc in chemical and biological warfare. He is also senior fellow of American Foreign Policy Council. So it's warm welcome to Dr. Bharat. Sir, thank you very much and really good to see you.
Very good evening to every one of you across India and abroad, and aapko particularly Pushpkar ji, it's a great honor for me that you have called me in your great show. I'm really a fan of yours, so I'm at your disposal.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So we would start with our first question, sir, that we have heard a lot about Agenda 2030, and a lot of things are coming in the media that it's now multipolar world, a new world order have been created. So basically, what is your opinion? What is Agenda 2030 and what is the new world order? Your thoughts, sir?
Pushkar ji, if we talk about the new world order, then we have to go back to 1959. 1959, I'd rather go back to before pre-First World War. See, there were two big houses. One was of Rothschild, one was of Rockefeller. They organized a beautiful nexus of controlling the world. One, Rockefeller will control the entire America, where Rothschild will control the entire Africa, Asia, and Europe. That was their mandate. After that, to control that thing, they have to use some sampling test. And for that sampling test, they created the First World War, followed by the Second World War. Now, after the Second World War, the Frankenstein they created, it was Adolf Hitler. With that Frankenstein, they have to realize their faults and their whatever the mistakes they have done. In that course of time, there was a great national hero from India whose name was Subhash Chandra Bose. And we all know that he is indeed a great hero of India. And Subhash Bose were actually absconded from after when the INA had fallen. And we heard many new rumors that he is traveling this place and that place. Some people say he died in Taihoku, and some people said he did not. In this course of time, with later detail of informations we received from the different sources, which are very valuable source, we come to know that Subhash Chandra Bose had not died. Rather, he stayed in different parts of India in hideouts. During that time, since he was the enemy of the state and traitor of the country, being disclosed by the first Prime Minister, Nehru, so he had sent his doctrine to his nephew, his sister's son, Prabhat Ranjan Sarkar, in 1959. In 1959, Prabhat Ranjan Sarkar, who was stationed in Stockholm, he created a particular theory called the Prout theory, progressive utilization theory. In that, he has mentioned the New World Order. Now, New World Order, that time people have hardly heard of New World Order. And that New World Order is the present New World Order we are talking about. Matlab, New World Order is nothing but a depopulation theory, inventing different things to depopulate the world, to manage the land management of the world. To if there is 200 people in a particular room, I have to do something to depopulate the room with 50 people in that room instead of 200 people. So how to do it? There are many aspects. One is the pandemic and epidemic aspect. So in 2015, in 2010, Rockefeller with Bill Gates, they made a plan and they introduced Clubhouse. And in that Clubhouse, they introduced on 21st of July 2010, Bill Gates and Rockefeller introduced depopulation theory or 2030, Agenda 2030, till 30 years from 2010, 20 years from 2010. In that, they will control the world economy. They will control the world economy by different virtues of, pandemic, epidemic, war, petrol crisis, this crisis, that crisis, and that. because they have lost a huge amount of money, almost $250 billion, Bill Gates have lost in the 2008 recession, economic depression across the world. And after that, they realized that this is the right way of doing it. So that was the initiation of Agenda 2030. Now, what is there in the Agenda 2030? 2015, there were a lot many reports coming out from different parts of Africa that Ebola is a very dangerous bioweapon. Ebola have surfaced in Sudan, in Ivory Coast, in Ghana, in Uganda, in Ethiopia. These are the 5 countries where it has been evolved. And all of a sudden, when the CDC, the Center for Disease, that's in US, CDC went for their, send their people over there, their reports has completely put on a classified file and handed over to the CIA. The reason is that should not be disclosed to the public. Not even WHO know about it, because CDC is one of those organizations. There are in the world, there are 3 organizations who are specialized in this particular thing. One is in US, one is in Russia, and one is in UK. So what happened? These guys have completely kept it hush hush, because not many American senators are under the payroll of Bill Gates and Rockefeller. In fact, I'm just disclosing with you. Now, what happened? In due course of time, there were micro news coming out from different parts of the world about Anthrax leak, about this leak and that leak. Then in 2019, we get the pandemic. So yes, this is all about Agenda 2030.
Yeah, that is
and more to come.
Yes, sir. So as you have just talked about anthrax and the pandemic, so how you relate anthrax with pandemic? So anthrax is going to be again a pandemic or sort of bioweapon, which the countries would get used? What is your opinion?
Pushkar, what I realize, it's my opinion. It's completely my analysis. So I'm sure people who are expert in this particular thing, they will definitely agree with me that I'm not talking anything wrong. The reason is I believe that these things are very important, that every Indian should understand that whatever we see, the chaos theory or the chaotic theory been happening in different parts of India is basically an eyewash to control and to fool people, so that the real criminals will get the benefits out of the chaos created by them. So we people will get busy in this chaos, and they will go and they will achieve their game or their destination. Now, anthrax happens to be, it's called as Bacillus anthracis. This is basically been first time used by the Germans with mustard gas in Second World War. But since the Germany has fallen, the chemical stockpile of Germany has been taken over by the Russians, Soviet Russians. Okay, and the nuclear stockpile of Germany has been divided into among the Americans and the Russians. That was a total theory. What happened? Russia, in due course of time, Soviet Russia, in due course of time, emerged as world leader in biochemical warfare. Till date, as I speak, irrespective of mentioning that we have stopped all biochemical weapon production. Irrespective of that, since we have a good relationship, diplomatic relationship, I don't want to go for in that particular aspect. I'm not blaming Russia for anything, but I think if I had been the president of Russia, I would have done the same thing to safeguard my country. So what they have done, they have 284,000 biochemical weapon till date in stockpile, which is not been officially declared to the world. They might have declared that 20,000 stockpile, but that is not the thing. 284,000 stockpile. Out of that, anthrax, Ebola, botulinum, MRSA-CoV, sarin, they have bubonic, Black Death, they have Novichok, they have Valium-82, they have polonium-210 mg, they have what do you call it? They even have the COVID. So if you relate Russia was the first organized country in the world who produced the antidote for COVID, Sputnik, before India could produce it, before Pfizer could produce it, before Johnson and Johnson could produce it. Because they have the inactive virus in their vials, which are completely inactive. Since they have in their stockpile, under the presidential executive order, they can definitely transport that vial from one distant part of Russia to Moscow to produce it at a very disciplinary speed, and then they can, go for it, warp speed, and they can just go for it. So that is one of the reasons we got the Sputnik at a very due course of time, before we produced the Covaxin, if you observe it properly, with complete trials and errors, whatever the thing.
Yes, yes.
Now, coming to the point, since Russia has these stockpiles, post-Soviet Russia in 1991, Russia used to keep her stockpile in different parts of the CIS countries, enter Soviet, broader Soviet Russia. Now it's squeezed out to Russia only. So it has Kyrgyzstan, it has Ukraine, it has Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan. These are the places where Russia, Estonia, Latvia, these are the places they used to keep their weapons. Let me tell you something. There's a place in Kazakhstan called as Stepnogorsk. Stepnogorsk laboratory, or Bioweapon, is a laboratory which is one of the largest in entire Asia, as well as in Europe. And that is the laboratory they have particularly designated for biochemical weapon production. A few years back, in 2015, there was a gas leak of bubonic plague over there. And then again, 3 months back, there was another bubonic plague leak that is from that particular laboratory. And that was the time Kazakhstan as well as Mongolia got affected with bubonic plague or Black Death. I'm talking about 2 months back. In fact, I warned the Indian government before that when that was happening. So similar thing happened recently in China, in Africa, and in America. Now, why I'm connecting anthrax? The reason is anthrax is a very dangerous disease. It's much more powerful than COVID, and it is a biohazard. So it to be kept in a very complex container, in a very concealed container, in a very secret and a classified place. Only a particular person, group of people, or 1 or 2 people have the authority to get inside that place with proper safety. Okay, so if it's available in the market, then it's a higher risk for any government, because any government can get squeezed out with the help of the terrorists or the bioterrorists. That is also connected. Okay, now anthrax generally comes. Anthrax generally, you found anthrax, animal anthrax, that is readily available. Cows, goats, sheep, pigs, they have this thing. I'm not talking about ducks and hens, only animals. So if a person consuming beef, or if a person consuming pork, he is consuming, and if the cow or the pig is affected with the anthrax, then the person is eating the anthrax, anthrax infected beef or pork. And when you eat it, your body absorbing that, and you are getting intestinal anthrax inside your body. Okay, and that leads to the deformation of your body cells. That leads to a dangerous cohesiveness, which leads to blood coming out of your ears, your nose, your eyes, even from your mouth. And the person sustained more than 3 minutes. If it's an old person of 70 or 80 years old, that person might live not more than 5 minutes, and 24 hours under specific conditions.
So it means anthrax is 100 times lethal than corona. Is it so?
Absolutely. Absolutely, take my word.
So,
and for that, now I'm coming back to the classification of anthrax. I spoke about animal anthrax. I also spoke about the intestinal anthrax. Now, you have something, you have a cut on your hand, and you are touching the cow you have in your the goshala, and you just want to see what happened to the cow, and you see the red spot of the anthrax. You just connect it, and by some mistake, that serum, that it's always dripping serum, the serum is get connected with your blood on your cut mark in your hand. It formed a cutaneous anthrax, subcutaneous anthrax that affect your skin. Okay. Now, some people have the habit of touching the thing. Okay, इसमें क्या हुआ? इसको क्या हुआ? So they just want to get the smell. Okay, इसको smell करके देखते हैं कैसे होता है. So that smell that affects your brain. It's a neurotoxin. It affects your body. That is affecting your heart, your lung. So that's why it's called as pulmonary anthrax. I'm just talking from the layman's point of view. I'm not talking from the specialist point of view. Otherwise, our viewers won't be able to understand it.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So, sir, do we have antidote for anthrax, or are we ready for that if it outbreak the way pandemic happened and the way corona spread everywhere across the globe? Are we ready?
In fact, if you ask whether the Indian scientists are ready, I am damn sure they are ready. To be very honest, that's my opinion. The reason is, all these years we were working on a sense speed. For the last 2 years, we are running like a hare speed, like the speed of a rabbit. So that's the difference. Now, we have the technology now. We have identified corona. We have identified novel coronavirus, all the versions of it. Now, but we already have the information about anthrax in the global scientist community. It's US and Russia always were into the formation of anthrax and fighting with anthrax and other things. So already Americans have developed antidote for anthrax. They have developed 2 types of antidote. One was 3 types actually. They have made normal antidote of anthrax. They have anthrax curability center, rehabilitation center of anthrax in US. They also have anthrax. They have also made anthrax from Ayurvedic drugs and herbs. From Ayurvedic herbs and shrubs. I think I've given you the links, those particular links on that. So those Ayurvedic herbs and shrubs are being extracted. I have the full clinical trial what the American people have done it. Americans have done it. And so they have made it. They already made the herbs and the antidote for anthrax. Now, today I got the news. They also had made successfully the anthrax oral vaccine. Because for the people who are attending their cows and pigs and sheep, the shepherds precisely. So for them, because recently, till today, there is a news that southern Texas got affected with anthrax. The similar thing happened in Uganda. The similar thing happened in Zimbabwe. The similar thing happened in South Africa, as well as in China. Now, let me come to the point. See, China had SINE-CoV. We have Covaxin, Covishield. Americans have Moderna, Johnson & Johnson. They have Pfizer. Okay, they have Sanofi, all these things. What happens? Already they have the vaccines. They are injecting their people. So there was a drop although irrespective of many side effects in Johnson and Pfizer, people, the mortality rate in US also going down like than before. But all of a sudden, for the last 1 month, there was a massive increase of death in US. The similar thing happened in China. All of a sudden, even after the people getting the double doses. So that's the point. If they got the double doses, then how the hell they're dying? The reason is, now this time, the pharma cabal and this Agenda 2030 architects, they have introduced anthrax with COVID. So you already have the vaccine of COVID. I'm talking about India. We have the vaccine of COVID. Now we have to build a vaccine of anthrax. The same format, same thing. All you have to do, we have to get some sample vaccines from some country, and then we have to reproduce it. That's it. Because we have the infrastructure, we have the facilities now. Now India have the facilities. It will take 1 month, and we'll get all the vaccines available in the market. So I'm very hopeful.
That is a really relief news. And sir, how do you see that? How far we are from the next pandemic? What's your opinion? I mean, 2 months, 2 years, 6 months? How?
See, very honest, rather I'll tell you the fact. I fear the Diwali.
Oh, so anthrax is going to spread like the way Corona spread everywhere. Is it so?
There is, if we take necessary action, if we take the necessary action, if the government is taking a very strong action and they control these things, and if the food control, the FCI and the Food Control Administration uh, go and check each and every places where they have cows and pigs and sheep, they should be very stern. Animal Husbandry Department of government, if they take a very decisive step of checking the things, whether the animal is having that kind of disease or not, then there is a chance that we can control it. But provided we should also have a backup. But my concern is, it's not even anthrax. My concern is, I call it A, B, C, E. I never call it A, B, C, D. A for anthrax, B for bubonic plague, C for COVID, and E for Ebola. Now, the latest report is saying, Bill Gates has mentioned in 2015 into public forum that we should not be afraid of nuclear weapons. We should be afraid of the chemical and biological warfare. And he has repeated in 2017 the same thing. He has repeated in 2018. Then 2019, the COVID comes. And again in 2020, he revealed that Ebola is a dangerous disease. Now that forced me to come to the picture and to stop and to inform the Indian government about the dangerous activities of this particular thing. Because if all these things, even Ebola, we are talking about anthrax. No, we should not be having a vaccine only for anthrax. We have to have a vaccine. At least 5 variants: anthrax, bubonic plague, COVID, Ebola, and MERS-CoV. These 5 at least to save the people of India. All together, same ingredients. And since the amazing part is, India is so blessed that we have the Himalayas, we have the region where we wherefrom we can get lot many Ayurvedic herbs and shrubs. Ayush is, it's my great organization. We have DRDO, who have these blueberries from Ladakh, which are extremely great antioxidants. So these things work together. If the government talk in a, instead of getting panic, if the government come and constitute a real organizational push, I'm sure within 1 month we can create a huge vaccine stockpile compared to any other countries in the world.
Absolutely right.
And we can avert this disaster.
Yeah. So the last question of this discussion, sir, as you have said that if government, taken care of all these things well in advance, or then definitely we can take care of our next pandemic. So during Corona, the effort which our government to contain the Corona. So what is your personal opinion that our government did well, or is there any area of improvement, or how much marks you want to give the government to control the pandemic in India? Your opinion.
Well, Pushkar, if you ask my opinion, people will not be happy with my opinion. I will rather give Indian government 85% out of 100. The first point, let me come to the points. Okay, it's not necessary that the person who watches your video today, he should agree with me, but I respect his whatever this thing he says. The reason is, we all are not same. We might not be agreeing on the same facts, but there are some aspects as well. During the Corona, when the government don't know what is the enemy, where is the enemy, and who is the enemy, then it's very difficult to fight the war. The government have to go for a back foot, to be very honest. Secondly, even after doing the research, we have to do, like any other countries, we are also into R&D, because one vaccine takes a lot of time. But since the government, the head of the government, the Prime Minister himself took it at 24/7, 365 days action. So obviously every department starts working together. There is no time to explain to the other people that, wow, it's taking so time and why it is taking so time. My end result is to save the people of India.
Exactly.
That is the end result.
Exactly.
That's what matters. Okay, during the corona, lot many people from different political parties showed their middle finger to the government and just went against the corona rules and regulations, which is completely unacceptable. See, when the government is declaring a national emergency, and that is for 3 to 4 months of complete lockdown across the cities, we should not go against that rule and law. And that is the time I like the government's movement that every human being, every Indian being fed, and every grocery store was open for a particular short period of time, twice a day, as well as all the medical shops are open. Absolutely. So I cannot say that, yes, no person has not been fed. No, that is completely wrong. And then we have enough medicines. Yes, we have enough medicine. There might be these pharma companies are like different things. All the pharma companies in India, talk about Pfizer, talk about Johnson & Johnson, Sun Pharma, these are foreign companies. When they see the demand is more, they just control the demand. They just increase the prices. They stop sending the stockpile, and they stop it. They increase the prices, and then again they send it. So that's the way they earn money. And that is what Rockefeller, Bill Gates wants.
Exactly, sir.
मतलब one tablet, एक tablet का दाम अगर ₹2 है, so they are selling it in $200. Yes. Only the name is changing.
Yes, absolutely right.
Name is changing.
Yeah, absolutely right, sir. And once again, thanks to you. Thank you very much. You came to my show and give this much of awareness to my viewers. And definitely, sir, it was really nice talking to you, and it's my pleasure to have you on my YouTube channel. Thank you very much, and namaskar, Jai Hind.
You're welcome, Pushpkar, and it's a great honor. I think I'm able to satisfy you with my answers.
Absolutely, sir.
And my viewers.
Thank you.
Thank you, and Jai Hind.
Yeah.